What is going on, everybody? We're back on at One Piece 486. I'll ask some of the Patreon members directly, but after 87, am I skipping to 490? You guys clarify that for me. I'm trying to remember where we left off. I'm a little bit ahead here. I cranked out some episodes. It's been like Whitebeard. I think Whitebeard finally went down. So in my opinion, the arc is kind of like done. And we'll talk about what we thought was good, bad, what wish we would have been different, etc, etc. What I'm most forward looking to now, because this is done, you know, they failed. Ace died, Whitebeard died. It's what I'm looking, so they failed 100%, but what I'm looking forward to is like what happens next now, you know. The repercussions worldwide. I mean, Whitebeard's down. If you're on a world government Navy side, you have to be so ecstatic, you have to be so happy. If you're on a pirate side, I feel like you can feel one of two ways. Either there's a vacant emperor seat and I want to take it, aka Blackbeard or whoever else, or you feel, damn, if they take out Whitebeard, then what hope is there for me? Why should I even be trying, you know, as a pirate? And then there's the Luffy story of it all and his mental and how his character will be going forward. And then just everything else with all the other characters, like Blackbeard's right here. Is the Navy gonna try to like yoke him up, or do they feel like they're too beaten up at the moment to even get him? What becomes of Boa and her involvement in attempting to help, and you know, her warlord status? And there's just a bunch of questions that we'll talk about. But Whitebeard finally went down. We'll see. They're not going to capture Luffy, and Luffy's not going to die. So I don't know who, what, when, where, how we get out. But Jinbei's got a crazy head start. He swims pretty fast too. I mean, if he could maybe hold Luffy above water, that'd be a start. Or maybe swim as far as you can with Luffy underwater, and then like come back up so it doesn't affect him. Just keep. But Luffy's going to get out of here, whether it's by Jinbei, whether it's by somebody else showing up that maybe we haven't seen. Dragon or something maybe. Shit, maybe Zoro. That'd be pretty great. But we're going to escape. We'll kind of see how it plays out. And we will see. We will see. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Strongest pirate in the world. King of the pirates. People are celebrating out here. Not a scratch on Rayleigh. Wish you could have been there, buddy. Could have been of some help. He's got tears in his eyes. I'd love to see a flashback of their relationship. There's a lot of guys here. It's building like a Naruto type thing where like there's these crazy strong older characters that we don't have history on, and I'm gonna need some serious flashbacks on it to see their relationships, their powers. 72 years old. Jeez. It's so crazy because like I would really be curious like what Prime Whitebeard would like to do, and I'm never gonna know. Yeah, the world is really gonna change. Things are really gonna change. Dang, I'd just love to know what he would have been like in his prime. How much of a difference it would have made here. Oh, I'd love to know how much of a difference would it make? Would it just make it a little bit more competitive, or would he really just like have stomped the entire field, like taking on 3 admirals, 7 warlords all at one time, none of them even able to scratch him, flicking Garp to the side, stomping Goku's face out while fighting 3 admirals and everything all at once? Like, would he been able to do that type of shit? Like, we're talking Madara against like the 5 great nations, like it's not even close, or what? But then that probably gives the pirate some juice. It's like, oh man, I'm depressed. Whitebeard got taken out. But then to hear that the One Piece is real? Yeah, Blackbeard is... I just don't like his... I don't like him. Just don't like the character. Don't like the mannerisms. Don't like any of it. Any of it. And you guys haven't seen 485 yet before I've reacted to this, so I don't know if you guys have answered questions about his crew and where they came from and yada yada. These two are really strong, Marco and Vista, in my opinion. They got to be in the top of the strongest characters here. Like, I feel like they're in that warlord territory after you get past the 3 admirals. And honestly, Marco was throwing with the 3 admirals for a decent amount of time. Is he as strong as them? I don't know, but he was definitely throwing hands. And like, what do you do now? Like, we just all scatter? Like, this is such a defeat. It's such a defeat. God almighty. It's so bad. I'm assuming Akuna is there. Is that how we pronounce his name? Yeah, that's what I figured. He doesn't die like that. You gotta have somewhere to put Luffy's rage, right? If Luffy does have rage. He's not gonna fall into a dark cave and then, like, be dead. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. As expected. No, I don't know if Luffy ends up killing him in a crazy fit of rage. But I feel like if they go with Luffy being dark and crazy for a little bit, he'll need somewhere to put his rage. And then so we did end up getting confirmation on how that door was open too. I feel like we talked about that a decent bit. It's been like a week since I did 485, but I thought you guys needed 485 last week, and actually you already had your 3 episodes, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll wait a week to react. I'm trying to remember what we discussed in that episode. How people are still surviving that is mind-blowing to me. They're getting point blank skull quaked and just shrugging that shit off. Like, what? Excuse me. Don't kill my episode with Buggy, man. You've already killed 2 minutes of it. Let's get past it. Oh. Get out of here. Let's go. Yeah, guys, that's fine. And so, like, I'm hoping that Oars is dead and he doesn't have to wake up to see this. They just have his body just laying back there. At least they kept it consistent. They could have easily forgot to, like, draw him in the background. Yeah. You can tell, like, the tone of the episode has changed. Now that, like, Ace and both Whitebeard are gone, I don't feel like there's any stakes or anything really happening. They left it. And it's just the image on Whitebeard. It's going as we planned. I know he wants that vacant spot. He wants the Emperor spot. What the fuck is this? What are we doing with the body? What? Eh? Y'all have a like a reanimation shit or what? Bro, unload on them. What are we waiting for? Goku, you giving... Let me not. I mean, they're the worst. Honestly, they lucked up into winning this off of sheer numbers in the Whitebeard's age, let's be honest. People are like, oh, well, do you think the military's serious now? Or the Marines? Like, look what they were able to do. They didn't do a hot damn thing, in my opinion. This was just a systemic failure on their end, too, I feel like. They succeeded because their opponent is 70 years old and has a crippling disease, in my opinion. The way that they put this together is disgusting. Honestly, they lucked up into Sakazuki being able to chirp in people's ears and Whitebeard being 100 years old. And then what becomes of Garp? Like, what does he just like hang it up? I feel like that would be good for him. Like, he doesn't want to be involved in this anymore because he knows that Luffy's going to be a target too. And why would he want to be involved? Boa, are you choosing a side? I mean, she's already chosen a side. She's already chosen a side. But, like, is she going to keep going with it? She better get out of there. She's going to be next in a minute. If I was her, I'm getting out. There's going to be a lot of accusations thrown her way, and Okaji froze the bay, bro. Oh, God. If I know Okaji, though, he, like, winks and lets us leave. Oh. Shit. We're gonna need outside interference here. I just don't know where the help comes from, like, because it's the same thing again. They lack the power to succeed here. So what do they need out? We need outside help. Who's that coming from, though? Unless Dragon himself shows up. Akainu is how we pronounce it. Akainu, Akainu, Akainu. The thing is that like, if you said it was maybe one of them, I would give us like a, I don't know, a % chance that maybe like just like some of them just stay back to get in the way while the others just somehow get out. But dealing with Okaji and I already forgot how to say it. Sakazuki, I don't know. How do we get out of here? Like, it was just one? Okay, throw a bunch of fodder at him, and literally the goal is like, Jinbei, you get out of here with Luffy. We will all sacrifice ourselves. Okay, cool. What are we doing about Okaji? And what happens if Kizaru decides to blink in over here? Do not pretend to be shocked that that didn't work. The fact that the story still writes that in. You guys know that they're Logia users. You just fought them for like 7 days straight. What? The guys that keep going like, take this, to all these Logia users. And they're so shocked it doesn't work. Where have you been? That better have some hockey in it. Guys, we gotta go. What's Okaji doing? I mean, we know he's forming back up. These two might be able to throw with him. I don't know if they defeat him, but these two... I don't know what their understanding of hockey is, but... But what do we do about Okaji behind us? Is the... like, well... Is the episode about to... Oh god, I thought that was somebody in a cloak, but I forgot. What's going on in there? I can't believe Goku's not giving commands on, like, just nuking this group into the ground right here. Where is Goku? Eh? Okay. I'm assuming we're going to be able to control this of something. He somehow is going to have the Quake ability, isn't he? He's somehow going to Quake, isn't he? I think he's going to Quake. But he couldn't just charge, he had to charge this up under... He had to charge that up underneath? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I knew we were either controlling the body or we're coming out of there with the ability. My thing is, I'm hoping that's a one-time thing. He just can't just be out here collecting jutsus and shit like he's Orochimaru. Is anybody in command over here? What? They haven't shown Goku on camera once. I'm truly hopeful that he's saying he possesses them both. It's making me think that that's not gonna just like fizzle out in X amount of time. But now he has multiple devil's fruits, and this is a question I pose: is if you could have multiple devil's fruits. This is a whole nother discussion here. Yes, that's what I said. He's got 2 devil's fruits, but he didn't possess. Okay, what does that mean? His body structure is irregular? What, has he got 2 stomachs? What's happening here? This is still being broadcasted. Well, they seem happy with what's transpired here. Hey, Goku. You stood there and just watched all this. This is a smaller force than what Whitebeard showed up with. I know you guys are scattered and tattered. I guess the world government doesn't feel great. I'm assuming the episode's gonna end here. I'm very upset about Goku's lack of anything right there. I'm assuming that's just a... I mean, that's the story made it so that... But... Like, he was just talking to Blackbeard a couple episodes ago, and like, why you're here, and like, I know that, you know, they kind of scattered the area a little bit, but that's kind of wild to me that like Goku's nowhere giving commands or having anything to say. Regardless, the episode was, you know, whatever. You could tell the stakes have kind of calmed down a little bit. Like I said, Luffy's going to get out of here. How that happens, TBD. I'm assuming we're gonna need outside help, in my opinion. I don't know if maybe Blackbeard and his crew really start to fuck shit up here as they're trying to leave. And like they put all their forces on him, and even the other admirals decide to like, okay, fuck it, we have to go deal with that, and then they get out that way. Or somebody's gonna show up to help. I don't know who that would be. So the question of the day is, this man has 2 Devil's Fruit abilities, clearly. Now, I'm assuming it's going to get revealed how he's able to do that, because they purposely did not show us. I'm assuming in the future, whether it's 100 episodes from now, 500 episodes from now, whenever we deal with Blackbeard, I don't know who it is that's going to deal with him. Is it gonna? Are we gonna have another showdown here against like Blackbeard and are the government gonna have to handle it? Is that going to be a Luffy plot point? Like Blackbeard is going to be somebody that the Straw Hats or Luffy has to handle. I don't know who it is that's going to have to handle him, but whenever it is, I'm sure we're going to get a deep dive in, because I really want to research his abilities. And I think I talked about this in last episode that you guys haven't seen yet. I want to research Blackbeard and his abilities, because this is the most confusing fruit in my opinion. And then him absorbing damage or like not taking damage, that also is part of his fruit as well. I don't know, but I know if I search him up, I'll get spoiled on all type of things, on if he's alive, if he's dead, who he ends up killing along the way, his current status. So I just can't Google him at the moment, so I can't get a real good explanation on his ability. And then they don't make it any clearer with things like what they just did. But then Marco's over here making comments, because I've been saying this since probably when we were still in like under 100 episodes. Of like, well, can somebody possess 2 Devil's Fruits? And a lot of people said no, but I feel like when you tell somebody a story is like 1,000+ episodes, I don't think anything is impossible. Like, I think we will see somebody that possesses 2 Devil's Fruits here, but the thing is, like, is he someone that's possessing 2 Devil's Fruits? Or is it something to do with his technique? Like, clearly he still has control of it, but I don't know, it's a different question of like, yes, he has the power of 2 Devil's Fruit. But like, does he though? I know technically he does, we see it here on screen, but is there a time limit on it? Is there an amount of how many he can use? And then does it stop at 2? Could he have 3, 4, 5 in his possession at one time? I have no idea. And then I asked the question of, when somebody dies, does the devil's fruit then like re-sprout into the world? Like Whitebeard just died, right? Is the tremor fruit up for grabs again? Like, does it regrow? Is there only one fruit ever? And like, can you just burn it and get rid of it? So let's say like Blackbeard, right? Let's say he's the next public enemy #1, right? The dark fruit or whatever. All you need is like a bite of it. You don't have to eat the whole fruit. Let's say he takes a single bite and just burns and destroys the rest, right? Or somebody else eats it all up, and then you kill that person. So there's no way that like, okay, I die, but that person had it in their system, now they get it. Let's say he bites it, let somebody else eat the whole thing, he kills that person, so that devil's fruit just ceases to exist on the planet. There's not a piece of it, a chunk of it, half of it, anything. And then Blackbeard dies. Will the fruit grow wherever these devil's fruits grow, and somebody else can repossess the power? Or is it truly like once it's ever been possessed in history, like that's it, it's done, it does not regrow, you can't go re-eat the fruit, like any of that? I don't know, a lot of questions on that. But he clearly has the power of 2 devil's fruits. Now Mark over here, I thought it was something to do ability wise, like his dark fruit is doing something that's letting him possess 2. But then Marco's over here making comments. I'm like, well, yeah, naturally you can only have 1, but Blackbeard's body is different. So what do you mean by that? Because if he doesn't make that comment, I would think as a viewer, okay, his devil's fruit is really that, like, we already know he nullifies other devil's fruits. It wouldn't be outlandish to come up with a way or whatever the explanation is going to be on how he's able to harness like another. But there's still a lot of questions with that, because I don't know if he has to be. He needs possession of the body, maybe. The body has to be dead. I don't know what happens to a body and its devil's fruit after it's done. I don't know if it comes back out of their mouth, like who knows. So it would have been like, oh, we just chalk that up to his ability. We'll learn it in the future whenever the Blackbeard, take down Blackbeard arc is. But then with Marco making those comments, it's like, oh, okay. Well, what is it? But regardless, though, even if his body's different, I still don't know how he got that devil's fruit out of Whitebeard's body. Now, again, what happens to a devil's fruit when the user dies, I have absolutely no idea. But we'll see. But on a side note, I just don't like his character. I don't know what it is. I just don't enjoy the character. Every time I see him on screen, I just dislike him more and more. I don't like him, don't like his crew, don't like any of it. I prefer Whitebeard's crew so much more. So we'll see. I don't know if they're just going to walk on out of here and it's a whole other issue that the world government has to deal with. But we'll leave it there and see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and as always,